Breaking news out of Cleveland, Dog Pound. The kind of update that hits like a cold Lake Erie wind, stirring up the frustration that's been building all season. The Browns are 2-7, coming off a gut-wrenching loss to the Jets where special teams imploded, letting in return touchdowns that crushed any momentum. Now, with a pivotal divisional clash against the Ravens looming, the front office is scrambling to patch the holes. Whispers of roster tweaks have fans on edge. Could this be the spark to reignite the fire, or just another band-aid on a sinking ship? If you're part of this crew, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and join the conversation. This community runs on real fans like you. Now, the name that's buzzing through the locker room and echoing in the dog pound, Tre'Avious Hodges-Tomlinson. Wait, no, scratch that, it's Tre Avery, the cornerback the Browns just reunited with, signing him back to the practice squad mere days after waiving him. Yeah, you heard that right. Avery, who was on the active roster earlier this season, contributing almost exclusively on special teams, is back in the fold. He was one of the gunners on that fateful punt return for a touchdown against the Jets in Week 10, a play that still stings like a fresh wound. Let's rewind a bit. Avery burst onto the scene as an undrafted free agent out of Fordham, signed by the Titans back in 2022. He's no stranger to grinding it out, 44 career games under his belt, showing flashes of that raw athleticism that made scouts take notice. With the Browns, he's been a special teams specialist, flying downfield to make tackles and disrupt returns. But earlier this week, the team waived him, a move that raised eyebrows among the faithful. No corresponding roster addition at the time, just a quiet cut that felt like another chapter in the Factory of Sadness saga. But here's where it gets interesting. The Browns didn't let him slip away for long. Wednesday's announcement confirmed the reunion. Avery's back on the practice squad, ready to grind and contribute. And to fill that active roster spot, they've promoted wide receiver Caden Davis from the practice squad. Davis, another undrafted gem from 2022 out of James Madison, has been bouncing around the league. Time with the Broncos, Lions, Cardinals on practice squads, even a stint with the Michigan Panthers in the USFL last year. Davis knows the Browns system inside out. He spent part of last season in this one on their practice squad, elevated for one game where he logged 14 snaps on special teams. And don't sleep on his preseason tape, that was electric. 6 catches for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing the kind of speed and hands that could add depth to an offense that's been sputtering. Stefanski's got to be smiling at the versatility here. Davis can line up as a returner, a slot guy, or just provide that extra juice on specials. This isn't just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic, folks. The Browns' special teams have been a disaster this year, and these moves scream desperation mixed with determination. Remember that Jets game. Offense finally showed some life, defense bent but didn't break early, and then bam, 2 return scores on punts and kicks that turned a winnable game into a nightmare. Coordinator Bubba Ventrone laid it out plain on Thursday. They've been playing below their standard, making dumb football mistakes on details, techniques, and fundamentals. Ventrone didn't mince words. On the kickoff, got to do a better job of getting off blocks and then folding when necessary. We practiced that play multiple times, so could have done better with our details. And on the punt, just not taking the easiest release, getting outside the ball, better hang time. We need to do a better job. We haven't played near our capabilities. Too many issues with dumb mistakes. It's the kind of accountability that dog pound diehards crave, admitting the flaws but vowing to fix them. Avery's return feels like a direct response to those special teams woes. As a gunner, he's got the speed and tackling chops to shore up coverage units that have been getting torched. Imagine him flying downfield, stuffing returns before they gain steam. And Davis, his return experience could inject some reliability into a group that's been anything but. These aren't splashy trades or big free agent signings, but in a season of slim margins, every edge counts. Zoom out to the bigger picture. The Browns are staring down the barrel of another Ravens showdown in Week 11, and the odds aren't kind. 5-point underdogs at home. Baltimore's on a 3-game win streak, humming at all levels with that Lamar Jackson magic and a defense that's suffocating. Back in Week 2, the Ravens dismantled Cleveland 41-17, piling on 31 second-half points in a rout that exposed every weakness. QB Jameis Winston, or whoever's under center, will need all the help he can get. Stefanski's preaching resilience. You have to turn around and get right back at it. Quickly learn from it, move forward to a division game at our place. Even young gun Dylan Gabriel, if he's seeing snaps, acknowledges the challenge. They're talented at all levels. Play really good as a unit, communicate effectively. We have our hands full. Morale might be in the gutter at 2-7, but this is the NFL where heart and hustle can flip scripts. As we hit the midway point here, think about what these moves mean for the locker room vibe. Avery coming back, it's continuity, a familiar face in a sea of turnover. Davis stepping up, fresh legs, new energy. The dog pound's been howling for changes, and while this might not be the blockbuster they crave, it's a step toward stability. But stability alone won't beat the Ravens. It will take execution, especially on special teams, to keep this season from flatlining completely. Stick with us as we dig deeper into how these pieces fit and what it all spells for Cleveland's flickering playoff hopes. Picking up where we left off, let's peel back the layers on why special teams have become the Achilles heel for these Browns. It's not just one bad game against the Jets, it's a season-long plague that's costing them games and sanity. Ventrone's right, they've got the talent, but the execution's been MIA. Penalties on coverage, poor hang times on punts, gunners getting blocked out of plays, it's a litany of errors that add up to heartbreak. And in a league where field position can swing outcomes, ignoring specials is like handing your opponent extra downs. Enter Tre Avery. His role might seem niche, but in the trenches of special teams, guys like him are the unsung warriors. Back in his Titans days, Avery was logging snaps on punts and kicks, using that 4.4 speed to close gaps and deliver hits. With Cleveland this year before the waiver, he was right there in the mix, 6 games, mostly specials, including that gunner duty on the Jets' punt TD. Waiving him felt hasty, especially with injuries and inconsistencies plaguing the unit. Bringing him back, smart insurance. Practice squad means he's developing, ready to elevate if called upon. Maybe he polishes his coverage skills, adds DB depth. Stefanski is always preaching versatility. Now Caden Davis, he's the wild card in this equation. Undrafted out of JMU, where he was a track star turned receiver, Davis has that burner speed that screams return man. His USFL stint with the Panthers, productive catches, yards, showing he can produce in live action. Preseason with the Browns was a revelation. Those 2 TDs highlighted his red zone threat and yards after catch ability. On specials, he's got the quicks to field punts without drama, something this unit desperately needs after watching Jets returners dance for scores. But let's not sugarcoat it, these moves are bandages on a bullet wound. The Browns' 2-7 record isn't just bad luck, it's systemic. Offense averaging under 20 points, defense gas from covering for them, and specials turning potential wins into LS. The Jets' game was Exhibit A. Deshaun Watson, or whatever QB soup they're on, finally connects for some yards, D forces turnovers early, and then poof, special teams gifts 14 points. It's enough to make any dog pound regular smash their remote. Ventrone's presser was a masterclass in tough love. He broke down the kickoff miscues, failing to shed blocks, not folding the coverage properly. They drilled it in practice, yet game time fundamentals crumbled. On the punt, simplest release paths ignored, ball drifting inside, hang time insufficient. Dumb football, he called it, music to fans' ears who want accountability over excuses. The coordinator's been with Stefanski since Minnesota, building units that were top tier there, recapturing that in Cleveland. It's the missing piece to salvaging this season. As the Ravens roll into town, the stakes couldn't be higher. Baltimore's not just winning, they're dominating. 3 straight victories, Lamar slicing defenses, that front 7 terrorizing QBs. The Week 2 blowout, a 24-point thumping where Cleveland never led. Now at home under the lights with the dog pound barking, there's a sliver of redemption. But as 9.5-point dogs, the line's screaming skepticism. Stefanski's mantra, learn, adapt, attack, has to translate. Gabriel nailed it. The Ravens' unity and talent are overwhelming. Yet that's where the magic of the NFL lives, in the underdog stories. Remember 2020? This same franchise clawed to the playoffs amid chaos. The dog pound's loyalty is legendary, forged in decades of heartbreak but unbreakable. These roster tweaks, they're a fuel for the fire. Avery grinding on practice squad, Davis getting reps, it's about building depth, fostering competition. Imagine a special team stop turning into a short field for the offense, flipping momentum against Baltimore, or Davis hauling in a punt, sparking a drive. Stefanski's steady hand is key. Post-Jets, he didn't dwell, get right back at it. Division game at our place. That's leadership, focusing on the next punch. The locker room's low, sure, but football's a weekly reset. Players like Avery back in the building bring that us against them vibe. Davis, hungry to prove himself, adds optimism. It's not sexy, but it's real. Wrapping this up, dog pound, these moves signal intent, not panic, but proactivity. Special teams woes, addressed head-on with familiar faces and fresh talent. Ravens game, a gut check, but winnable with execution. The season's young enough for a turnaround, stranger things have happened in Cleveland. As the horns blow at first energy, remember, this team's got bite. Fire up the chants, bleed orange and brown, and let's see if they can howl their way back. If these changes stick, who knows, the playoffs might not be a pipe dream. Stay locked in, subscribe for more insider takes, we've got your back through every snap.